What if the funniest actor you never even heard of was quietly shaping legends like Michael Jordan and Chris Tucker behind the scenes? Sounds wild, right? But that's exactly where T.K. Carter's story begins. His name doesn't hit your ears like Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor, but don't get it twisted. This man was personally mentored by Richard Pryor himself. And get this, he straight up turned down Saturday Night Live right when Eddie Murphy was walking out the door, a move that shocked people who knew the game. There's also a real reason Hollywood slowly pushed him out of one of the biggest sitcoms of the 1990s, and it wasn't random. And once you hear what really went down behind closed doors during Space Jam, it's gonna stop you cold. Born December 15, 1956 in South Central Los Angeles, Thomas Kent Carter entered the world, and soon everybody just called him TK. By age 10, he was already winning local talent shows performing Bill Cosby routines.
But Daddy, it's raining cats and dogs out there.
Cat. Girl, you better get up.
But TK wasn't just copying jokes. He broke everything down, studying every face, every pause, every reaction, like a true student of the craft. By age 12, TK was already doing stand-up while other kids were stuck doing homework. He wasn't just telling jokes, he was breaking comedy down piece by piece, like a science project in motion. He graduated high school as a track champion, hit Citrus Junior College, then scored his first real TV role in 1976 on Policewoman, proving early he wasn't playing around. Then came the grind. He spent a year working at Disneyland as a ride operator on Pirates of the Caribbean, later joking he was the only black pirate with a white eye patch. But he wasn't just clocking hours. Every job became training. The liquor store, the supermarket, the service station, all of it turned into research. TK watched how people moved, talked, reacted, and stored it all away for later. By 1977, at just 19, TK was performing regularly at the Comedy Store on Sunset Boulevard, sharing stages with real legends. That's when Richard Pryor walked in. TK was on stage doing impressions, trying to land a Jaws joke. The crowd laughed, and TK thought he crushed it.
Hold on, now just hold on. Everybody knows that I am the greatest.
Then Pryor pulled him aside and said, "You weren't funny. They weren't laughing with you. They were laughing at you." TK was stunned. People were laughing, so what was the problem? Pryor stared straight at him. No smile, no softness, just truth. That moment became TK's North Star. From then on, every move was about getting sharper, smarter, and funnier. While grinding the comedy circuit, TK started locking in steady work doing warm-ups for shows like Welcome Back, Kotter, Chico and the Man, and Good Times. On the set of Good Times, producers would ask the crowd if anyone had jokes. TK always came loaded. Week 1, he caught attention. Week 2, the material hit harder. By week 3, producers were already watching for him. By week 4, writers were lined up in the back, watching this unknown kid tear the room apart. That's when casting directors started hovering. In 1983, TK landed his first series regular role on Just Our Luck, playing a black genie on network television. In the early 80s, that was unheard of. The show didn't last long, welcome to Hollywood, but TK kept moving. Even before that, in 1980, he had already landed a role in Neil Simon's Seems Like Old Times, starring Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase. And here's the wild part. Neil Simon, a legendary playwright known for never letting actors touch his dialogue, gave TK permission to adjust lines. Simon even told him, "You have some of the best comedy timing I've ever seen." But just when things looked like they were breaking wide open, TK hit a wall. Hollywood wasn't handing out leading roles to young black actors back then. And speaking of leading roles, things got real interesting when Eddie Murphy came to Los Angeles to film 48 Hours. TK believed that role was his moment. Director Walter Hill already knew TK well. They had worked together on Southern Comfort, so there was real history there. One night in Louisiana, TK got caught up in a bar fight and threw a glass across the room. Raw, chaotic, real. That exact moment later showed up on screen in 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. Walter Hill saw it happen in real life, and TK walked away thinking, that role is mine. But then, Saturday Night Live introduced America to Eddie Murphy, and overnight there was a brand new king in town. The whole game shifted. TK went to the set just to meet Eddie, watching him work up close. That's when it hit him hard. I'm not getting anything. Not because of talent, but because the machine had picked its guy. Still, TK didn't turn bitter. He became friends with Eddie, watching his rise with both respect and frustration, knowing he had the skill but not the full Hollywood push behind him. Then came another close call, Trading Places. While working with Dan Aykroyd on Dr. Detroit in 1983, Aykroyd told TK, "If Eddie doesn't do it, I want you to meet John Landis." But the SNL machine kicked in again. Eddie took the role, and TK watched from the sidelines one more time. Later, when Chevy Chase tried to bring TK onto Saturday Night Live after Eddie left, TK turned it down. Why would TK turn down Saturday Night Live? At the time, he felt everything was moving too fast. He wanted movies and stand-up, not sketch comedy every week. Looking back, he's admitted it might have been a mistake, but TK was committed to his own lane. In 1984, that lane led him to Punky Brewster. The kids on set were wild, but still professional. TK naturally stepped into a big brother role, becoming Uncle TK, always keeping candy in his pockets to keep the kids focused and smiling. Decades later, they still call him family. Through the 80s and 90s, TK stayed booked. The Jeffersons, the Waltons, Welcome Back, Kotter. He was running from set to set, always working, always grinding. Then came 1996, Space Jam. Director Joe Pytka called TK directly and said, "Get to Warner Brothers. I think there's a role for you." The table red was stacked with NBA legends, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson. But here's what almost nobody talks about. After the table read, Michael Jordan pulled TK aside and asked, "Can you be my acting coach through this movie?" TK was stunned. "Michael, I'm an actor, not a coach." Jordan didn't care. "I'll pay you. I need your help." Just like that, TK Carter became Michael Jordan's secret acting coach on Space Jam. They worked page by page, scene by scene. By the end, Jordan didn't need him anymore, and he made it clear to everyone on set. "If you need anything, talk to TK Carter. Don't mess with me." Players started coming to TK for autographs, favors, connections. He became the unofficial set connector, and Space Jam wasn't his only quiet coaching job. In 1998, Chris Tucker was cast in Rush Hour, and the studio needed someone to sharpen the jokes and lock in that timing. So who did they call when they needed help? They called TK Carter. TK worked closely with Chris Tucker, helping shape that fast-talking, high-energy character that lit up Rush Hour. When Rush Hour 2 came around, they brought TK back again. No questions asked. Let's be crystal clear.
Yeah, I just lost my wife, cancer, and with her for 15 years. So I was just telling Trey, man, I said it comes to the point for my wife was battling for 8 years. She got diagnosed. So for 8 years, I had to balance creativity with being supported.
TK Carter coached Michael Jordan on Space Jam and Chris Tucker on Rush Hour, two of the biggest movies of the 1990s. He was behind the scenes making magic happen while the spotlight stayed elsewhere. But Hollywood has a short memory. In 1996, TK landed a role on The Sinbad Show as Sinbad's best friend. The chemistry was perfect and everything clicked until the politics showed up. An executive producer quietly told TK they might recast his role. TK didn't blink. He said, "I'm pay or play. If you want me gone, write the check." What they didn't know was this. TK's brother was a litigation attorney for Disney. That's when Jeffrey Katzenberg personally stepped in. Katzenberg showed up on set and shut it down fast. TK Carter goes nowhere. We need TK on this show. The room went dead silent. TK looked around and joked, "Now get me a donut." He stayed, but the message was clear. Hollywood didn't run on loyalty. It ran on leverage. That realization pushed TK into the year 2000 and the role that changed everything. The Corner. HBO was developing a gritty mini-series about families struggling with addiction in Baltimore. TK heard about the lead role, Gary McCullough, a man battling heroin addiction, and he felt it deep. He knew that role was his. But the casting director didn't see it. Instead, they brought TK in as a reader, feeding lines to other actors. Big names, including Don Cheadle, auditioned while TK sat there feeling invisible. Finally, HBO president Chris Albrecht stepped in and said, "Get TK Carter in here. Let him actually audition." That moment changed everything. They set up one final audition, TK Carter versus Glenn Plummer. Whoever destroyed the room got the role, no excuses. TK stepped in and delivered an intense 3-page monologue.
I read, I listen to the radio, and I think about things.
When he finished, the room went dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. The woman reading opposite him was crying. TK walked out, booked a trip to Maui, and let it go completely. 2 days later, the call came in. You got the lead. The Corner went on to become one of the most critically acclaimed miniseries in television history. Legends like Denzel Washington, Lawrence Fishburne, and Samuel L. Jackson personally told TK how powerful his performance was. In that moment, he proved he wasn't just the funny guy. He was a serious actor who could carry heavy material. But even after The Corner, steady leading roles didn't suddenly flood in. So TK did what he always did. He kept working. He popped up on Everybody Hates Chris, a role Chris Rock personally asked him to take. Then came Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, acting opposite Viola Davis and Cicely Tyson. He also played Bobby Brown's father in the BET biopic. TK had known Bobby since the 1980s. When a young director tried explaining Bobby's life to TK, he shut it down and said, "Call Bobby right now and ask him who should play his father." They made the call. Bobby didn't hesitate. TK Carter. Beyond acting, TK opened for music legends like James Brown and Luther Vandross. He was close with the Jackson family, visiting Neverland Ranch regularly. Michael Jackson would hand TK envelopes stuffed with cash and say, "Don't open it yet. If you opened it too early, you had to give it back." Despite all the connections, the legends, and the close calls, TK Carter never reached Eddie Murphy-level fame. And he's been honest about why. "Fame scared me," TK admitted. "I was on the freeway doing 100 miles an hour and I wanted to get off and take a break, but I couldn't." At one point, TK realized he was chasing fame instead of sharpening his craft. Too many parties, premieres, and appearances, and not enough quiet time working. Director Robert Townsend told him straight, "Every party you go to is a script you're not writing." Today, TK Carter is 67 years old. He's married to his wife of 14 years, has one son, and he's still creating. He's writing pilots, developing new projects, and co-owns a social media platform called Click Do Social, built to give users control and actually pay them for engagement. His net worth is estimated around $1.5 million. He's still mentoring young talent, still giving games, still being Uncle TK. But here's the final wild secret. TK Carter was the first black actor in a horror film who didn't die in the opening minutes. The Thing in 1982. And on that same movie, he worked alongside an annoying intern who kept knocking on his door. That intern later became an executive producer on Black Panther. TK Carter's story isn't about missed chances. It's about staying true in an industry that wanted him to play a role off-screen too. He coached legends. He starred in classics. and he built a career on his own terms. If this story surprised you, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. Drop a comment and tell us, did T.K. Carter get the credit he deserved?